Being able to wait to go to the bathroom the entire day was the price of my freedom because I was in a regular high school in the community, and I was told if I couldn't do that, I would not be able to go out to high school because there was no assistance available with something like the washroom. And so, I just had to learn how to manage. When I came in, someone just had to turn the desk around the other way so I could sit at the desk because the chairs were attached, and I brought my own chair. So it was just, that was the only accommodation. Education was very important. It was important to our mom in particular, in our minds from a very early age, that this was a path that we need to be on, and to me it was a road to freedom. Living in the institution was always like the sword of Damocles, hanging over my head. Very, very afraid of that outcome. If I had had to move into a nursing home at 18 years old, and I was offered MAID instead, I might very well have chosen that if I didn't see any hope for anything else happening. I went on to university, decided to learn to be a teacher. That was the beginning of the rest of my life. I was able to work at a private college that worked with adults who needed to read and write. We worked with people with disabilities, also people who were coming out of federal prisons, people who were getting off of the street, just people basically overlooked in society in many ways. That was very consistent with just my own growing belief about advocacy and, recognizing in people what other people might not recognize. And then from there, I was invited to work in the government and helping the government learn how to make their services more accessible to people with disabilities. One of the legacies was supporting the Ministry of Transportation in their efforts to have accessible en route stops. Just working with them to make them really accessible. So that was really great, and I'm able to enjoy that myself as now that I'm retired. And if I'm traveling somewhere, there's always a stop. It's really nice.
If the door was closed, you just kind of pushed it over.
I did my best. Or at least put a ramp in front of it.
Yeah. That's right.
If you stop to think about it, if a person cannot get help to get, up in the morning or get, enough meals a day, or get out of the house sometimes when they want to be able to do that, like those things affect their quality of life more than their disability itself affects their quality of life. All Canadians do not currently have access to all of the supports that they need. When Canada was first thinking about a law for medical assistance in dying, I was quite concerned that this would be a slippery slope. It distresses me to be in a society that makes it easier for a person to choose death from a so-called menu of health options than to choose life because of having services in place. There was one woman who requested MAID and got it after 2 years of fighting to get housing that would accommodate her needs as a person with environmental sensitivities, and is now dead when really she just needed to be moved to another, housing program that offered her the rental subsidy. that she had without having to wait years for that. I think there is a prevailing attitude that people think they'd rather be dead than disabled. You know, you're almost always at the brunt of those kinds of assumptions. And some people with disabilities will internalize that feeling. Their first reaction might be that they'd rather not live with that situation, losing their hearing and losing their mobility, losing their, capacity to make decisions, like whatever it may be. What people needs are services, supports, to live in the community, things that actually truly meet their needs and continue to contribute to society as workers in the workforce, as parents, as brothers or sisters in a family, neighbors, as a friend. Like, people can contribute in many ways. If they had those supports, I don't think they would put MAID on the top of their list.